It's your boy Jim Shoe. Keep it the chip tube, but in your face art, man. We make art, we sell art. Thank you guys for watching this video. Just want to let you know that each and every video is sponsored by inyourfaceart.com. You'll be able to check down the link in the description so you can see many of the artworks that we do, designs, t-shirts, posters, customization, all that great stuff. So thank you for joining us, man. Thank you for coming to watch this video. I hope you get a lot of great value from it, a lot of good laughs.
Segment called "You Know What Makes Me Mad." You know, things that make us mad in the culture. Why? And I'm kind of going to set the stage here for Coach.
This is my thing. This is my thing. And this is what I said to Jason. I don't think it's right when you take people and or characters and put them like putting the Hulk in Asia. Like you're going to try to make there be an Asian Hulk. Ain't no damn Asian Hulk. I mean, the only way it can be an Asian Hulk is if Bruce Banner take his ass over to Asia. I mean, I'm not trying to see no damn Hulk out there using some nunchucks and shit.
Oh, Jesus Christ. We about to get canceled.
That's me. That's all I'm trying to tell Jason. Think about it. How you going to have a Black Panther in Asia? What you going to call him? I mean, what's he supposed to be over in Asia? Is he still black? I mean...
He's Bronze Tiger.
That does not make any sense to me. And that's what I'm trying to tell you. I mean, let character build another character. They just built one. Marvel just built one and built one a long time ago. Shang-Chi. That's the Asian Avenger right there. Roll with Shang-Chi. You got a nice little storyline for him about how the whole thing. I mean, he got a storyline. So let it roll like that. Don't be trying to put that on some other character over there. How you gonna have Captain America? How's Captain America gonna be in anybody else's culture? Oh, this is the Chinese Captain America. Ain't no Chinese Captain America. He gonna have a shield and everything. I mean you can't do that. Thor is for the North. You gonna put a Thor in Africa? Oh yeah, he the African Thor. What is that? I mean, to me, it's already bad enough. We got this damn multiverse where, you got damn people who are good in one universe and bad in another and all that. We finna see that with Doctor Strange and all this other stuff coming out. Dude, that's bad enough already. We got to deal with that. Now you trying to put these characters, the ones that we know and love and everything, you trying to put them in different areas. It took me a long time, and I know we talking about this ain't Marvel. I know we talking about DC. It took me a minute to get to the whole Black John Stewart thing being the Green Lantern, and there's Green Lanterns all over the place, and there's a Green Lantern here, and there's a Green Lantern there, and all that other stuff. I get it. Listen, it took me a long time to warm up to that, but I got it because there's more than one Green Lantern. I finally got that. But that's a little bit different because that's some intergalactic shit and everything else. Please, Jesus, the people who are from Earth, just let them be who they are, and just let them stay where they're supposed to be. Let Black Panther be in Africa. I don't want a Black Panther in America. I don't want to have a Black Panther here. They can run as fast as a ninja. And this I don't need that. So that's all I'm trying to say.
Oh my God. Thank you, Coach, for our segment of You Know What Makes Me Mad. Coaches. All right, Jason, let's go move on to you. What is You Know What Makes Me Mad?
All right, well, I'm gonna slightly disagree with Coach here. I like legacy characters when they change, because especially unless what I don't like is when they take a character that's already been established and then make them, some other, culture because it looks good for optics, right? I like legacy characters. Firstly, it takes away from all the other characters who actually are that color that they could be pushing forward first. And secondly, like especially for African Americans, most of us have a different sort of cultural worldview than white American citizens, and you just can't swap a white guy out with a black guy and just have everything be 100% the same. Like that's just not the way it works, unfortunately. And like they do this a lot on TV, like they, Wally, and this has been a thing, especially with the redheads, where they make all the redheads just black people.
Yep.
And it's just like, I like legacy characters that you've created that may have taken that mantle later, who is a different person. I don't like it when you just say, "Oh, Wally West is all of a sudden he's a black guy now," because like it's he has a different mindset than the white Wally West. He has a different outlook on this. He's got a different relationship with the world because we as a Black Americans have a different relationship with the world, and it's just it. And if you don't bring that into the story, first, if you bring that into the story, you're changing the character completely. So that's what you're doing. And if you don't bring that into the story, you're not being authentic to what you have already presented to us as this person of color. And even though not every story has to be about Black trauma and all that other good stuff, there are definitely certain experiences that are more general to the Black experience than not. So I don't like when they do that. I personally would like them to put more of the actual characters of color that they have in their roster, because both comic book companies have plenty of them, and like they can put them out there, but they just don't, because they still trying to make money, and it's much easier to make a Black Superman than actually put Icon out or Calvin Ellis or whatever. So I don't like that. I feel like it's not the kind of diversity that we're looking for. Instead of having a diversity of story, you're just color swapping, and that's not diversity. That is almost ignoring it, really, in my opinion. So yeah, I hate that shit. Like, unless it's somebody like Jimmy Olsen, I don't give a shit that Jimmy Olsen's Black, because I don't give a shit about Jimmy Olsen. But like, like you can make a Black Batgirl. Batgirl is just a title of a person, and you can make a new character where Black. I mean, they did it on Batwoman, where they made a new character, and now she's Batwoman, or whatever. And it's not,
What about a black Batman? Jason wants a black Batman. He said they.
Because they've done that. They've done that.
Yeah.
But making Bruce Wayne Black does not make sense to me.
Right.
But having Jace Fox being Batman in the future makes sense, right?
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, that's my thing. It's just like, everybody wants to be a ninja, but no one wants to be a ninja until it's time to get
real quick. Let me just ask you this real quick though. Can James Bond be Black?
Hell yeah, James Bond can be Black. James Bond is British. That's all the thing. James Bond. Only thing James Bond cannot be is American.
Right.
I tell you right now, you're gonna have James Bond, the death of an icon.
It's gonna be a new Brexit all over.
They make it Black.
Right.
Like, for James Bond, who's been played by multiple actors over many years, like, even though there's definitely racial animus in Great Britain, as there is in any place where there's multiple people.
Yeah.
Like, the most important part about James Bond is him being just British, and there's plenty of British people who are British, who are Black, or who are Asian, who are definitely freaking Southeast Asian, like Indian and shit like that. So like, they're just as British as fucking, what's his face, Daniel Craig, or probably even more so than Daniel Craig. Yeah.
Oh, I mean, definitely more so than what's the face,
George Lazenby, because he was Australian.
Oh, I was gonna say oh boy, the most famous one. Damn, we just were talking about him for the Rock.
Connery.
Yeah.
Connery. Well, Scotland is still a part of Great Britain.
I mean, I'm saying as in like his accent doesn't define the quote unquote stereotypical British person we would look at.
Yeah,
he's definitely. I mean, I think even Daniel Craig's James Bond's supposed to be Scottish, but either way, it could be. I mean, like, there have been Black people in the British Isles for 1,000 years, so like, or actually longer than that, 2,000.
Yeah,
well, they explained it in the last movie. In the last movie, they said James Bond is a title. I'm gonna say 007 is a title.
Yeah, 007 is a title.
Yeah, anybody.
And you could do that.
Yeah,
anybody could be 007.
Anybody can be 007. That's enough.
Like, it could be Brian Smith is 007. Anybody
Yeah.
can be 007.
Right. Brian Smith. Brian Smith. Okay. Do you have anything for you know what makes you mad, or you got yours out, Jason?
I got off my chest.
Okay. I'm gonna move into my what makes me mad. So actually, it's kind of all it feel like all this synergy kind of got together with this one on this one. So mine, what makes me what makes me mad is about Hollywood. Hollywood's movement for diversity makes me mad. Like Hollywood's move diversity makes me mad. And it's kind of some of the stuff that Coach is saying, it's kind of stuff you're saying. Acknowledging diversity and adding diversity in your roles and in your movies is a great thing. And I want to celebrate that is happening. We are seeing more people of color on screen than ever before. We're seeing more people actually have representation on screen. When I was in Florida, I was talking to my stepmother I guess my mother-in-law, my stepmother-in-law, and she was like, she never thought about the lack of diversity in shows and movies until like it's become more diverse now, and she enjoys it. And she's like, it's sad that like it was never like a thing that was on our consciousness until now. Well, my response to that was like, yeah, that's cool and all, but they're conceding this diversity thing, but they're still making all the money. They're still cashing all the big checks because they're not conceding any power. Now, when we get to this diversity conversation, I want the diversity in the director's seat, the diversity in the cast and crew. I want that diversity to come through. Even the diversity
in the executive board.
I was about to say that diversity in the executive board to greenlight movies. How many movies have we seen of English, Scottish, or just European kings and queens? Big budget movies. But I ain't seen one big budget Shaka Zulu movie ever. I know BET had one, a miniseries. Yeah, that's it. And that wasn't a big budget Hollywood film. That was black people putting together a film for that. That's when I'm like, when Hollywood starts making those films, where we're getting African nations, African kings and queens, a Cleopatra that's actually black and not Elizabeth Taylor, and that's shown on TV and those things are made, that is when we'll start getting the diversity and inclusion that I want Hollywood to be.
Hell, I would go
as far as even give me the fictitious version of these things. I would love to see a movie in Africa about an African kingdom that's like 300. And it's fictitious, but it's still enjoyable and fun. There's people that look like us doing this, and like we can go and cosplay as as the Black King of Ghana or something like that. And like that's what I want Hollywood. Once Hollywood starts making those movies, that's when I feel like the diversity and inclusion has really hit home, because then we can see our stories being told that doesn't include pimps, hoes, and slavery.
Mm-hmm. Well,
that's all Hollywood gives us. Pimps,
they already gave you Black Panther 1. They about to give you Black Panther 2.
You best like that. I was just thinking about that. And Jason, I was just thinking about that today because the trailer for The Northman came on before Ambulance.
Yeah.
And I was like, that looks like a badass movie. It's about, and I'm like, how cool would that be if that was like about, as you said, Zulus or Igbo or Yorubans, or Malian Empire, like one of the greatest empires that ever existed on the planet. The richest dude that ever existed was a Black African. I mean, there's so many stories there that could be just like that, right? Like that could fill that genre, but they just don't do it.
I think you will struggle to get backing for it because people are afraid that nobody's gonna come out and watch it. I mean, the bottom line is that if you show a movie like that, because I think they feel like a whole lot of European Americans go to the movies more than African Americans go to the movies,
which is not true.
Without European Americans coming out there to watch that movie, are you gonna make any money off of it?
Well, go ahead, Jason. Jason, you go. Jump
I'm just like, that's the thing with like what people are saying with what's the movie Turning Red. It's like, oh, this doesn't really apply to me. Like, motherfucker, I've been watching shit that doesn't apply to me for my goddamn entire life.
Thank you.
Like, y'all can sit through a fucking movie about fucking Zulus and shit. All right.
Right.
Like,
Star Wars applies to you. Star Wars applies to you.
They
didn't have a black person in Star Wars in the second movie.
Right.
Star Trek. You had Uhura. They gave you Uhura.
Yeah. Look, and that goes to my point too, is that you're right. They're not going to greenlight it because they have that myth
Right.
But if you actually break it down, the movies that are black made that aren't anticipatively about slavery or the quote unquote overall dampening of the black experience, do like Black Panther did well. You know why? Because it wasn't about the black experience. Like Black Panther wasn't being like, oh man, the white man on my neck about racism this week. Like he was doing his thing, you know.
Suck being a slave.
Yeah,
But not only that,
not about Bad Boys. We talk about Bad Boys.
You talking about like Color Purple. Color Purple wasn't a action smash up this, that, and other, but Color Purple won Academy Awards.
Yeah, but that was directed by Steven Spielberg too, so they still got their whiteness in it.
And I'm with you, but I'm just saying that it was still basically about black people. Because if you're saying you want to have a movie about black people by black people, then that's a whole different conversation.
You kind of just need to get Tyler Perry and Oprah Winfrey to make movies.
I don't want Tyler Perry making shit for me.
Neither do I, but that's the only way. You're gonna have fucking Shaka Zulu like, how do you do?
right. But my point is like we can have movies about blackness that isn't predicated on black trauma, because in our African roots we didn't have the issue of racism. Yeah. So we can have these movies. And as I said, when Hollywood starts making those movies, what we find, like, don't give me woke ass cheaper by the dozen. Give me fucking expensive Egyptian pound. Give me that shit. I want to see that. Two Egyptian families working it out. Like, give me that shit.
I don't even want to fuck with no Egyptian people because they've been doing that shit for forever, because that's the only Africa they even know about. I want fucking East, West, South, Central, all that shit. And it doesn't have to do with fucking Rwanda genocide or fucking Coney or whatever. I want, because if you can make the movie about, like, you know, The King with Timothy Chalamet, or The Warrior King with what's his face, Chris Pine, you can make fucking Shaka Zulu. And that's sad that I'm only bringing up Shaka Zulu, but there's, you know, tons of other fucking culture or black figures in history that you can do movies just like that about. Sorry. All the motherfuckers you want to star, because there's black actors and shit. Like, let
me put on my conspiracy theory hat. How come it hasn't been done? How come?
Because white supremacy is a bitch.
I'm about to say, is it that Hollywood has because a lot of people say this about our educational system. They don't really want people to know where we came from.
Right.
They really don't want black kids to know that they used to be kings and queens until we, you know, were brought over here and enslaved and whatnot. They don't really want you to know that kind of stuff. Do they want to see a movie made that shows black people living high on the hog, harmoniously, loving each other and making stuff work and all that other stuff? Because every time we get these movies, it's showing us warring against each other and killing each other, and, you know, one African tribe fighting against another African tribe. And I mean,
look,
that's all.
Even Coach, I would take that if they made an African version of Braveheart. I'll take that because at least it's a king, it's a black king and another black king. War, like, I'll take that. But now, I don't want to take the movie where it's like, oh, Tom Cruise comes as the last Ujurian, Ganeshan warrior, and he saves the Ganeshan. Like, I don't need to see that shit. Like, I don't need.
The thing is,
I don't need slavery. I don't need pimps and hoes. I don't need any of that shit that they've been peddling to us. Give us the same movie you give with white folks with our black heritage in it. And like I said, it don't even have to be strictly quote unquote by the book. It can be fictitious. It can have them have powers, and it can be like the Avatar, but with black people. Like, they found the forest in Africa.
It can be Lord of the Rings with black folks.
Yeah, I'm with it, and I'm with all of it because we have a deeper history than the shit they peddle to us. And that's what I was telling my stepmother-in-law, is like, when Hollywood finally starts doing that, and like I said, like you said, Coach, I think it is a plot, because a lot of times the stigma, like you said, is, oh, well, those movies don't make money. Yeah. Well, how, Sway? Because I can name a bunch of movies that went back about black trauma that made a ton of money, but you don't acknowledge them. You don't acknowledge the, like, Red Tails that didn't do well because you fucked up the movie by not letting them do what they originally had for the movie. That's why that movie didn't do well. You changed the whole freaking movie.
And you made a fucking World War II movie PG. Get the fuck out of here.
Making a white savior. You made a white savior in the movie. Like, so, but
and
that's
one of the
most
egregious things about it is, you know, especially if you're talking about history and historical things, is that there's always this lie that people tell, especially teachers will tell you this. Oh yeah, well we would know more about Black history or the history of Africa, but y'all didn't write shit down. It's like that is absolutely an utter fallacy, complete and utter fallacy. There are people who have records of all this shit. It's there. Y'all just don't care because y'all went in there, y'all found some fucking nice statues, and y'all took them back, and y'all just like, oh fuck it.
Well,
that's it.
You know what I usually do to people that say that, especially that live in the South now, and because I've heard people tell me that, and I go, that's interesting because that spiritual document you got, the Bible, written by Black folks.
Yeah.
Written in Africa. How do you think that came?
Fucking
and then, they even further when they started translating it into different languages, you know who was doing the translations? The slave labor that they had, the Black folks were writing down these copies by hand because there was no printing press back then.
I think you're wrong, Jason, because my Bible has King James on it.
He's the one that wrote it. 1,500 years after Jesus' death, he wrote the most.